welcome back to my channel. We're going to do a vertical ombre today, and I'm so excited for it. This is for a Valentine's manicure. This is, I think, my third. So I am using a color for the ombre called Tunnel of Love by Cali Girl Nail Dips. This was in my unboxing video of that nail mail just the other week. So I am deciding to do my middle finger full-on Tunnel of Love, and then I'm going to ombre it to my ring and to my pointer finger. So there I'm just going in with my precision tool, cleaning up the lines, patting it down. It's not a sparkly glitter, it's like a matte, and so I just wanted to flatten it. I'm going to be using Dipalicious's clear. I love their clear, and I don't know why I decided to do it this way. I've done it different ways. So what I'm going to do here, I'm doing a full coat of base, and then I'm going to go in with a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm going to scoop up some of the powder, and I'm going to tap it over that side of my nail. So I'm resting my finger on the jar of powder, and I'm just lightly tapping it to cover that side, making sure to get an even coverage. Then I'm going to tap it off, any excess back into the container. There's still a lot of excess on my finger. You're going to see here and cringe probably. I coated the nail in clear, and then I tapped off all the way in the cap, and you see all of the pink there. Don't worry, I got rid of that, and I feel so silly wasting that powder. So don't make that mistake like I did. And I'm going to do the same thing on my my index finger. This one's a little bit more awkward because you have to twist your hand kind of in a weird direction so that you can get the left side of that nail. But the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. Okay, so when I want to get off all of the excess powder, sometimes I'll keep my finger like that and tap it so some color flows onto the solid side. Other times I'll flip my finger so that I'm just tapping all the excess off back into the jar. So it all depends on the amount of coverage you have and if you have a nice gradient going from your two different colors. So at this point, I decided to switch my liquids. I actually have a bottle for glitters and a bottle for solids. That's just to keep from any potential glitters getting into a solid, and because that can be so frustrating. We all know how that is. So that is a really helpful tip that I've learned throughout my time dipping, to have two different bottles of base, one for glitters, one for not glitters. So I have to say this powder covered beautifully in just the two dips. Sometimes I find when it's a glitter powder, the clear may be more apparent in one spot without many glitters. So sometimes even doing 3 dips, you get really good coverage. But here I found the 2 was absolutely perfect. So there I am again, just using my precision tool to clean up my cuticles. Super helpful tool. If you don't have one, highly recommend. And now here I'm just deciding, do I want to go with a second coat of Tunnel of Love to make the ombre stand out a little bit more? And I did decide, yes, I do want to do that. Okay, so I'm just trying to get as close to my cuticle as possible because I do want the ombre to look a little bit more gradual. I don't want it to just look like it was plopped on there. So the closer to the cuticle and the edge of the nail I can get, the better. So I'm going to do the same method with the fluffy brush, just really concentrating on the edges because we don't want it to be too concentrated in the middle because we want it to have that nice gradient flow into our solid color, which is a Dipalicious color called Meriwinkle. And I'll post all the details of the colors that I used here. So I'm going in with the clear powder on the other side. You can use the actual color that you did your solid with, so I could have used Meriwinkle as well. Like I said, I don't know why I did it this way. I just went for it, and I do like the result of it. So as I was going through this, I was really liking the ombre effect, but I was starting to be a little worried about the thickness of the nail. And some ways that I maybe would have changed what I did was, rather than doing my apex method, which I didn't show in this video, but that's almost about 4 layers, I maybe would have just done 2 layers of color so that the nail wouldn't have been thick, and you wouldn't had to have done more filing towards the end. But I didn't really mind. I like filing because I like to get that nice clean shape. So I didn't mind doing the filing. As long as you're careful around your cuticles, then you really won't have a problem either with it. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and build a little apex with clear, which is why I just went down the middle. And then these nails, I was testing to see if it was dry, ready to go, brush it off. Those nails, I did one final layer of clear over everything, and you might think it's a little excessive, but because I wanted to file them down, make sure they're nice and smooth, the clear really helped to make sure that I wasn't filing away any of the color. So I'm just going in with my activator now. I think there was a hair on my nail. When you have dogs, that tends to happen a lot of the time. So I always have to be extra careful when I'm doing any top coats, because getting a dog hair stuck in top coat is one of the most annoying things. And if that's happened to you, then you know exactly how I feel when that happens. So I'm just activating them, making sure, because there are some, or there's a good amount of layers, just really soaking it in there. I know my thumbnail looks a little wonky, but you will be surprised with some filing. I was totally able to fix it. So although I don't show you my actual filing process, you do see my final filing product. And I was really happy. Filing is something that I've been working a lot on recently, and it just takes some time to understand shaping and get the hang of what shape you actually do like. It's not a bad thing to try different shapes. I've tried different shapes, and I just happen to like this shape the most on my nails. So after I file, I just do another coat of activator just to make sure everything's nice and solid. So once my activator is dry, I take this great scrubby brush and I put some alcohol on it, and I use it to scrub the surface of my nails as well as underneath to make sure I'm getting any debris from them and also getting the activator off if there is any remaining. The reason why it's so important to do this is because if you contaminate your top coat, it's so frustrating and it could potentially ruin the whole bottle. So we definitely don't want to get a hard brush, and we want to try and preserve our top coat as well as we can. And I do have to say, ever since finding this wonderful top coat from Dipalicious, it's Easy Dip Top Coat, I've never had any problems with my brush hardening. So if you're in the market for a new top coat, this is one to absolutely consider, and the shine on it is remarkable. So now I'm just shaking my hands around to let the alcohol dry a little bit more because, like I said, we do not want to contaminate our top coat brush with anything. Okay, here's the finished product, and I'm just so happy with how these came out. I feel like the ombre is just a really natural gradient, and you guys can see the shine of that top coat. So if you guys give this a try, let me know how it goes for you, and thanks for watching.